If you're in line to receive an inheritance, patience can pay off big time. Advance payments of money left to you from a loved one sounds pretty good, but those services often take a big cut of the cash for themselves. So here to talk a little bit more about this growing trend and the safeguards that are in place in Ohio is the Mahoning County probate judge, Robert Rusu. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Good afternoon.
Yes. So this is an entire industry. They're making money off of people who pass away, the dead. And, you know, a lot of times you look at these services. In fact, the Consumer Reports did an investigation. They found out of 240 transactions involving 100 beneficiaries. Almost all of these companies took half of everyone's inheritance. Why do people opt for this quick payout?
That's the question that we ask ourselves. The big thing is people are desperate. They need money. Everyone's at a different stage of their life. They may be experiencing a medical emergency. They may be experiencing an upcoming event such as a wedding, a funeral, and they need cash. And so they know the probate process takes some time. On average, it's about a year. It takes about a year to wrap everything up and make distributions from an estate administration, which, when you think about it, seems a long time, but it really isn't. It's not that long of a time to get every person's final affairs in order. Right. It takes about a year. Okay. So people don't want to wait that time. They want the cash now because they need it. Maybe there's a pending divorce or something happen. They need cash.
Or an expense that they want to pay for. Now, do you have any concerns, issues with these types of companies and this practice in the state of Ohio?
We haven't seen it too prevalent yet. I've had a couple cases come to my court, just 2 since 2017, but I think it's coming. The way that the economy's going right now, people don't understand what's going on in the probate field, so they're scared, and so they want to get their cash and they want to get out. So I try to tell people, be patient. The probate administration is an orderly administration that allows creditors as well as beneficiaries to get notice of what's going on. It takes time to sell assets such as a house or get it ready to be sold. And so I tell them, take their time. If they need cash, go talk to the fiduciary and the attorney who's representing the estate. See if you can get an early distribution, because there's possibility that they can make an early distribution to you. Not all your distribution, but they'll make a small portion distribution, and that may get you through your emergency that you need the cash for right away.
Yeah, do you think that there's a movement maybe to prevent them from doing this altogether in the near future?
I don't know if you're going to stop it altogether. I think what they're going to do is they're just going to regulate it more. Right now, it's not regulated. The only state that has a true law on the books is California. Ohio has something very similar. Our 2109.361 statute is a distribution to third-party distributees, and so we treat it as a statute that can protect beneficiaries against this type of predatory lending. Even though they don't call it lending, they don't want to call it lending because then they'd have to comply with the Truth in Lending Act and the usury laws of the state of Ohio. So they call it an advancement or an inheritance distribution early, or an early inheritance. And that's not what it is. It basically translates to be a loan.
Okay. Now, would they be listed as the ownership of your inheritance in the paperwork and the official filings?
Sometimes they do. They want to be put on notice of what's happening. The contract is technically between the beneficiary and that company, but the company tries to get paperwork that tells the fiduciary when they make distributions to that beneficiary to pay it directly to them so they can get paid first.
Yeah, and you'd say, you know, just be patient probably pays off a lot more in the long run.
Being patient and also getting some advice ahead of time. Go talk to an attorney. Maybe you pay an attorney an hour for consultation time, which is not that much. Some of them will give you a free consultation, and they'll help you walk through the process, and maybe even contact the fiduciary for you and say, my client's in a really bad state of an emergency here. They need cash. Is there any way we can get an early distribution so they can forego this third-party distribution?
All right. Well, Judge Rusu, thank you so much for giving us your time today. We saw this investigation and thought, we have some questions here. Sounds sometimes too good to be true, which, I mean, if they're going to take half of the money, sounds like it is.
It is too good to be true.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.